Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Oh yes, we're gonna have another go. always trying to do one, and I want to do a mountain, and I'm gonna do this bluey grey sky for the background. Or I could use the sky. Could use the paper as the sky. Don't think I've done that recently. I might try that actually. We'll use the paper. It's like a grey card, I should say. It's not paper, it's card. And I'm going to use that. And then, so what I'll do is I'll start building my mountain using this bluey black. And then what I can do is then use a lighter sort of blue on top of it. It looks quite interesting though when you don't paint the sky, when you're using like card, because you can get different coloured card. You could experiment with all kinds of different colours. What I'm going to try and do is leave the areas that are light. I'll leave them as the card colour until I add a bit more detail to this. It's all about blocking it in at first. Blocking in the major shapes, and then after that you can start enjoying yourself a bit more. It's when I'm doing the highlights, that's when I enjoy it the most, because that's when things start being shown in your painting. You start seeing everything a little bit clearer. I'm going for a very slightly lighter grey for these bits here. There's a bit of white in it, you could see it there. I didn't mix it well enough. It's the problem, I'm a bit of a lazy mixer. Okay, something like this. And then this down here, and then a little bit of a swoop. And then there's a slightly darker area there. Sort of swoops round. I've always enjoyed painting mountains. I really enjoy it. I don't know why. It's just fun, isn't it? I just find it really fun to do it. They get a bit addictive after a while though. And you think, oh, I want to paint another one. I just want to try something else, see if it works. And if it works, you're like, oh, I want to try something else again. I'm just throwing in a bit more dark in this. I'm going to spray my paint with an atomizer just to keep the paint moist. I'm going to keep the paint moist. Keep pulling in that blue if you want a bit more blue, if you want a bit black. I'm saving my yellow ochre and my white for the lights. Some of it isn't pure highlight, so there's a nice dark bit there. So there's little breaks in the snow. Just putting in some of these darker areas. And that way, adding a bit more detail, just a bit more detail to the mountain here and there. You can use the brush quite dry as well, sort of dry. If you wipe it a little bit and then come back, and you can allow some little bits of paint come off the brush. It's just a bit of a dry brushing technique. So I'm doing as much as I can with this brush to start with, this biggish brush, and then as I'm going through the painting, start changing. I haven't fully decided what I'm going to do down the bottom of this painting. I just really wanted to focus on this mountain and then see where it takes us. I'm liking it so far. It's going to look like a million times better though when I start putting in the light. So I'm going to go into a smaller brush, this old brush. I'm going to start putting in some of the dark bits. A little bit of the blue and black. Black and blue. Just add a little bit of dark there, a little bit there as well, here and there. And then what I'm going to do, I think what I'm thinking is using some of the black and the blue, and I'm going to have a mountain in front. This. Got to decide whether I want to highlight it or not. Anyway, at least we have something. I mean, I could have done trees and then a bit of snow and cabin and stuff like that. But I always tend to aim for stuff like that. But what if there's this person that got this view? It was up a mountain. I'm basing this on a photo actually, except I always modify it. I always change it to the way I want it to look. Yeah, so I've got that, and then what I can do is I can use a little bit of the blue and black. A little bit of the blue and black. And then I can sort of add a little highlight to these areas. I'm quite loosely doing it really. I'm thinking of shape more than anything. The way it comes down and you can be really detailed if you want to be. I think that worked quite nice. I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put the highlight in because that's going to make the difference. Might straighten this off a bit as well. Okay. Now this is going to help though. This dark is going to help with this light. I'm sort of umming and ahhing about my sky now, whether I should just have a little bit of dark just hitting the paper like here. Quite a watery consistency just around here. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to emphasize the light. So I might leave it at that. This is to emphasize the light that's going to appear, and then we can start working on it a bit more, improving things. Like this area here needs and sort of along here. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit of the yellow ochre and the titanium white, and I'm going to turn this into my highlight colour. The sun is going to be gold and yellow, and we can start pouring the light in areas. Then the most light's going to be on this bit of the mountain here. And we can let it break a little bit. I don't mind that. Get some different type of textures. I want it to be a little bit less bright there. and a little less liney. So I can just rub it away a little bit. Maybe go a little more yellow in it. Some of these areas. Okay, nice bit of light there, and then on this bit here we've got a bit of light. And a little bit on here. And then some along this, scoop a little bit there. It's quite nice. It's a bit there. And you can really start picking areas out that you want your light to be on. You could see a bit there. And a little bit there. And then get a little bit of this blue and white. I'm going to modify some of the colours on the mountain. A bit more of the blue like there. Some of that on there, and then you can see the difference then between this area and this area, which is good. And then this bit here, also on the back of this. Picking out the areas that need a bit more of this lighter blue. I'm using the brush quite loosely and allowing it to flow down the mountain. Bit more yellow ochre in that. Create some of these differences in the rock. Now I'm going to go to an even smaller brush. So you start with the big brush and then you can go down to the smaller ones. This is only a number 2. And I'm going to start putting in a bit more detail on the mountain. Some of these nice dark bits. And while you're doing this, you can start picking out areas that you want to improve on, like this bit here. And there's a bit of a darker bit here, I think, on the top of this. And any marks that you can see that you want in there, you just put them in. Start developing your mountain a little bit more. I think there's a little bit of the breaks in that bit there. Go down a little bit there as well. You start going back and forth then with the blues. And developing your mountain. Looking at the mountain and seeing what's needed. Probably need a bit more there, and then a bit more there. We've got a little bit here that we can develop on. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. kind of getting lost in the painting a bit. Do you find that happens to you when you're painting? You start forgetting that you're sat there painting, you're in your own little world. It's even harder when you're doing a video because like just then I just started getting lost in the making of the marks. And I forgot that I was doing a video. Just started to really enjoying it. These little bits of light just coming in, it just really works, doesn't it? A bit more light here because I think I've lost that bit a little bit there. Something like that. This bit behind there. I might put a little bit on there. Just for fun, because it looks a bit boring. I think this needs something behind it. So what I might do, just get a little bit of colour and put another mountain there. And then what I could do is a little bit of the white and blue. Put that in front like this. And then that sends that backwards. Yeah. No, I just want to put in a few more of these bits. Something like this. Maybe have a little bit of light on there as well, just to go. And then down there. Interesting if the light sort of glints off this bit as well. Just thinking about the light hitting other areas. I might go for a really bright light now and stick it right there. Have that as my lightest point, the mountain. And then we've got all the other lights. And then you've got a choice then, you can either lighten this mountain bit in front up, or you could leave it. Do I need any more changes? Do I think possible to pull that down a little bit there and then maybe have a few dots in amongst this. Yeah, I quite like that. Somewhat different. Tempted to just do a bit more underneath the just to highlight those bits. I kind of wish I painted the sky now, because I think that grey in the background is a bit too warm. See, you can make changes though, can't you? You can always change stuff. That's the beauty of painting. Maybe as well, some of the foreground area could be a bit lighter. Maybe this could have a little bit more light on it. Not too much. Don't want to overdo the foreground bit, because it's going to be the dark area. You know what I'm thinking of doing? It's having a focal point. Have a hero character scaled the mountain. And it's looking there, and to make him stand out a bit, get a little bit of red, put a little bit of something there. Maybe it's his backpack. And then what I could do is add a bit of light to one side of him. So maybe the light just about hits him. Just to add a little bit of interest. And I think I'll leave it there. So thanks very much for watching this one, and I'll see you at another one. Cheers, bye.